Minecraft Bedrock has officially been beaten faster than Minecraft Java Edition. This is doubly impressive when you consider that Java has two ways to time their runs, one which doesn't include the menu screens, and Minecraft Bedrock has been beaten faster than both, even after including theirs. This truly was a next level run by LOL869, and I won't bury the lead or try to clickbait you. Here is the end of the run where he beat the game in 1 minute, 47 seconds, and 300 milliseconds. Each of those milliseconds actually came in incredibly important, but we'll talk about why that is as I'll start back at the beginning and explain how this run got going right after I do the generic YouTuber thing where I tell you to smash some form of button and tell you maybe you should consider subscribing because I make Minecraft Bedrock videos that maybe you find interesting. Just like how you might find it interesting that yes, Minecraft Java has a different timing system to Minecraft Bedrock, and despite that time excluding loading times and this one including them, this is officially faster. It is genuinely 1 minute and 47 seconds from now that the run gets to its end, and yeah, I want to break down this whole thing and show you exactly what's happening. First things first, we're going to look at the incredible chest loot. It has to be worth mentioning as we freeze right here. 10 sets of spruce logs seem like they wouldn't be too useful on a run like this. You might think it's the bread, but obviously in a speed run, having access to blocks without having to mine them is an incredible power. You'll see some of that used in a second, and you'll see some of it used much later in the run. You'll also see some incredible crafting right here. I'll slow this down to 0.25 times speed, and it's still incredible to watch just how fast he can use this beginner crafting system to get all of that placed down quickly. There is 11 obsidian which has to be placed, and the speed at which this happens truly is nuts. Also using the few seconds of going to the nether to get some snowballs, really impressive to see. What I really like though is you'll see he entered the nether at 19 seconds, and because he's only here for one blaze rod, even with a tiny mistake on the netherrack block right there, you'll see that it still took just 13 seconds from the start to the finish of his nether. I mean, that is incredible to say the least. Anyway, now you've enjoyed watching that a second time, let's show you the overworld. There's an impressive lava jump, there's an impressive getting of the bed that is going to be super important later in the run, and then also, because he knows exactly where the stronghold is, digs down to the exact right point. Now, this is the impressive part of the run. There are two ender pearls that are required. They're quite far away from where the actual portal is, and yet he manages to get the ender pearls really quickly, but with a combination of different techniques here. I want to replay you that one more time and do some brightening on it, just in case you missed it, because by placing blocks directly above him, he can do these micro jumps which use so much hunger, but increase your speed by about 5 or 10%. That 5 or 10% means nothing to most players, and it's a terrible idea for most people, but it's really valuable for him. And also you'll notice, like, wait, how did he go up those stairs so quickly? You actually climb stairs faster with auto jump turned on. So by having that one setting enabled, which I'm sure causes all sorts of issues for the rest of his Minecraft times, he actually does get this slightly faster climb and also gets this faster into the end. So now we're in the end dimension. There are just 30 seconds left in the run. It's incredible to say he hasn't even seen the dragon with his own eyes yet, but he knows exactly what he's got to do, and that is start this critical bug as fast as possible. If you want to kill the dragon on Bedrock, you can't just use beds like you can on the Java Edition. You need to get the dragon critical damage because beds do less otherwise. You need to get her mostly down so that there's less required, and then you want to really quickly get your beds in, and look at that. One of the fastest one cycles you've ever seen because it only took one cycle of the Ender Dragon, and in fact, if we rewind a little bit, you'll see that at 1 minute 37 seconds, the Ender Dragon is dead, so the last 10 seconds of this run are just spent awkwardly waiting in the end portal, waiting for that end credit to activate. This is really an incredible thing. 97 seconds from spawning into killing the dragon, including loading times between dimensions, which there are free transitions off in this run, by the way. That is something that's nuts, and I've done the comparison from Bedrock to Java before. I have a whole video about why it seemed like it would be tricky for Bedrock to pull off what it's just done today, but I figured rather than showing you side by side of Bedrock and Java, it'd be more impressive to show you LOL869, who had the previous world record too, by the way, the comparison between his former world record and his current world record. There are just 4.233 seconds in this, but those 4 seconds are what make the difference between a really incredible run and a legendary run, and indeed the first Minecraft Bedrock set seed glitchless to beat Minecraft, even when considering their different timing system, which is widely regarded as not the way that things are done on Bedrock. So yeah, let's watch this side by side just to show you what I think is the truly incredibleness here, because looking at these first 10 seconds, honestly, they look like near identical runs. In fact, the old run does some things just a little bit quicker, and so if we start at about 10 seconds, you'll see some of the improvements that have been made. The first one is getting these obsidian blocks placed really quickly. Making the nether portal start a little bit faster means that on the right, the newer run, we're in the nether a full second and a half before, which is really nice. There's also, it has to be worth saying that although the blaze is in roughly the same place, he gets to it slightly faster in the new run versus the old, meaning that he's going to the Nether right now, and by the time we're going to the Nether in the old run, it's going to be a full 3 to 4 seconds behind, and we're already, destroying beds, and it's incredible. Anyway, so speaking of things that are incredible, you're starting to see all of those small time savings in the first 40 seconds really add up right here. This takes so many attempts. I mean, the fact that it's been almost a month between these two should tell you just how much these attempts have been going on. We don't have the exact number of how many tries it took, but you can see that, like, yeah, of course, they're going to be really, really efficient. And on the right, you're seeing just very slight optimizations really here and there. Stuff like crafting those eye fenders just a little bit faster. Stuff like getting moving in the end just a little bit faster. And it means that by the time we're at the very end, it really has started to stack to the point where you can see why the new run is doing so much better than the old. However, here's my interesting point I want to raise about this run. Even though this is the best Minecraft Bedrock run yet, and you're seeing how this is like truly next level, you are starting to see some of the very slight inefficiencies. So again, I want to be clear here, Low869, the god of Bedrock speedrunning right now. However, even they would admit, I think most speedrunners are critical of themselves, there are all sorts of efficiency gains that could be made right here. You can see how if we go through the run, because we've seen them side by side, we can even see direct comparisons one to the other, but throwing 3 snowballs before getting the critical, if you were perfectly sure about yourself you could get that every time, you could save yourself 0.2 seconds there, and that's a small amount, but when we're talking about 1 minute 47,300, it's quite important. When we go back to that beginning, you can see the old run was very slightly faster than the new one, right up for the first 11 seconds. It's only faster. I had to do the side by side and see it in my editing program to really see this, but by the time he's finished with the crafting table in the old run, it's 10.663 seconds, 683 seconds, and on the record run, it's 10.883 seconds. Another 0.2 seconds, which, they can start to add up. Also in the Nether, again, this is an incredible run. I'm mentioning these just to mention how much further we can come. You can see that the Nether, this brick placement actually got in his way as he killed the blaze, losing him roughly a 1/5 of a second, whereas the old run, by placing a block in the ceiling, he actually goes even faster than that, managing to get down just a little bit quicker than an even run. These are the very small micro adjustments which can be made even just when comparing the runs to each other and comparing to what you could do in a perfectly optimized run. But yeah, this is the truly nuts thing in my opinion, because to come to the conclusion here, there is something that has to be said, and that is that Low869 has officially done something for the first time and has beaten Java at their own game, and this is something that we really do have to say, wow, that is nutty. I really think that speedrunners can be underappreciated in a lot of communities, and I think we all need to, clap our hands and say, yes, this is something that we are all impressed by, and, again, doing it in 1.19.0, the newest version of Minecraft, is always especially impressive. Going back to older Java versions is really easy to do. Going back to older Bedrock versions is harder than going back to older Java versions. That's a weird inconsistency, which I would love for someone to fix, but in the current situation, the modern version that most people are playing, the Bedrock version being beaten faster, is really cool, and it also just kind of shows that even though there are lots of downsides to the Bedrock engine of the game, the biggest one is the fact that the beds do way less damage. You have to do that weird critical bug. There are people trying to overcome them. It used to be that you had to take down the towers. It used to be that you had to use the lava to keep the dragon flying down. This is how speedruns have been forever, but the community's collective attempts have made none of that true. It used to be that getting a really decent seed on Bedrock was near impossible, but thanks to people like Cracked Magnet, who found this particular seed, by the way, he truly is a treasure and a value. Seed Lord is the correct title, but thanks to the seed finding, we now have seeds which have 10 Eyes of Ender, 12 Eyes of Ender, and I have no doubt that at some point in the future, a better world record seed will be found, that will exist, and will take us to even newer levels. And yeah, the fact that a speed run, which used to be in the 2020 days, it took 40 minutes to beat Minecraft on a set seed, has been now brought to 1 minute and 47 seconds. It just makes me so proud of this entire community, and I want to say to everyone who is a part of it, good job on the first sub-Java run, and I look forward to seeing what happens in the future. If you do too, consider subscribing, because I love to cover speedrunning news. This was fascinating to me to watch. I could watch this 100 times. Do you want to watch it again? Let's watch it again. Wow, look at the start. We'll watch it at 2 times speed. Whoa, he's mining and he's crafting and he's in the portal. And whoa, what's he doing in the portal? What's he doing in the Nether? It's all so crazy. Okay. Watching speedruns at double speed is fun, but you know what else is fun? Seeing you in the next video. Goodbye.